and for the third Saturday of September 2025. A few stray thoughts. And a few general remarks. And a few points of view. By way of a roundup of the week. All my own musings. Like, IMD fixed September 15th as the day of monsoon retreat. It was a parting kick. The southwest monsoon is to start withdrawing from northwest India around September 15th, the India Meteorological Department, IMD, said. The primary rain-bearing system usually makes its onset over Kerala by June 1st and covers the entire country by July 8th. It starts retreating from northwest India around September 17th and withdraws completely by October 15th. Like where angels fear to tread, students stare. Agree? Jamaat sweeps Bangladesh students' polls, wants Pakistan as an ally. Delhi University Students' Union DUSU election results. Amit Shah hails ABVP's win, highlights faith of youth in nation-first ideology.
These are scenes from protests in Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. Each of these protest movements began because of a specific grievance that flared up, ending in the rejection of the government or its leaders. The protests are often led by young people and have sparked deadly violence. So what happened in each of these protests, and do they reveal the instability of South Asia right now? The protests in Nepal were ignited by the government's ban on major social media platforms. Many people were particularly angry that the children of political leaders seemed to enjoy a lavish lifestyle while most of the population was dealing with rising unemployment and widespread corruption. The unrest left at least 19 people dead and forced the Prime Minister to resign. In Bangladesh, student-led protests started with anger against the rules that limited the number of civil service jobs based on merit last year. The protests culminated in the ousting of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and hundreds of people were killed. In Sri Lanka, severe economic crisis fueled protests that forced the powerful Rajapaksa clan out in 2022. These movements have also rocked other nations in the region and left behind worsening law and order situations.
And Sam is back. Like, Overseas Congress leader Sam Pitroda said he feels homely in Pakistan and Bangladesh. Pitroda also suggested lending a helping hand to Pakistan and Bangladesh. BJP fumed. Indian Overseas Congress Chief Sam Pitroda says, our foreign policy, according to me, must first focus on our neighborhood. Can we really substantially improve relationships with our neighbors? I have been to Pakistan, and I must tell you, I felt at home. I have been to Bangladesh, I have been to Nepal, and I feel at home. I don't feel like I'm in a foreign country.
Pakistan prem again? कांग्रेस नेता सैम पित्रोदा के पाकिस्तान को लेकर दिए गए बयान ने राजनीति में हलचल मचा दी है। विपक्ष ने कांग्रेस पर पाकिस्तान प्रेम दिखाने का आरोप लगाया है।
Like, Rahul Gandhi dropped his hydrogen bomb on Votkori. BJP called it a damp squib. EC responded calling claim childish and said that votes can't be deleted online. Time to verify and put an end to this finally?
Hydrogen bomb aa raha hai.
Hydrogen bomb is coming. He humming and humming. CEC says it's numbing. B-boys say it's plumbing. To new depths of drumming. Z's and Z gals are thrumming. And D boys are strumming. So come y'all summon, chewing and gumming. Hydrogen bomb is coming. Then there is gayness, no end to his meanness. His skin got thinness, answers in nothingness. Absolute lack of finesse, what a freaking genius. Worse than an office clerk who wipe his smirk. Are the polls clear? Is anybody here to save this smear? Apocalypse is near, cause hydrogen bomb is coming. He humming and humming. CEC says it's numbing. B-boys say it's plumbing. To new depths of drumming. Z's slips through the EC and the press is dizzy. The sane are going dizzy as the facts get frizzy. When greedy palms are greasy, trusting is not easy. You and I are busy, demo is going crazy. Lazy bums are lazy, cause hydrogen bomb is coming. He humming and humming. CEC says it's numbing. B-boys say it's plumbing to new depths of drumming. Z's and Z gals are thrumming. ND boys are strumming. So come y'all summon, chewing and gumming. Hydrogen bomb is coming.
क्या बकवास है?
Breaking news, next news item, oh it's breaking fast. Next news item, blink and it's gone.
Like Yassin Malik, who butchered scores of Kashmiri pundits and admitted it, said in an affidavit that he had met Hafiz Saeed in Pakistan, and Manmohan Singh then PM had thanked him. Believable? But why is Malik still not hanged? Like, Mehbooba Mufti, ex-CM of J&K, appealed to Home Minister to pardon Yassin Malik. Terrible. Will Kashmiri pundits ever get justice?
महबूबा मुफ्ती ने यासीन मलिक को लेकर केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह से अपील की कि यासीन मलिक के मामले को मानवीय आधार पर देखा जाए और ट्वीट भी किया है। सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म एक्स पर ट्वीट कर उन्होंने लिखा कि मैंने माननीय अमित शाह जी से अपील की है कि यासीन मलिक के मामले को मानवीय दृष्टिकोण से देखा जाए। महबूबा मुफ्ती की तरफ से लिखा गया कि मैं उनकी राजनीतिक विचारधारा से सहमत नहीं हूं, लेकिन इस बात को नजरअंदाज अभी नहीं किया जा सकता है कि उन्होंने हिंसा का रास्ता छोड़कर राजनीतिक संवाद और अहिंसक विरोध का मार्ग अपनाने का साहस दिखाया है। यह लिखना है महबूबा मुफ्ती का पीडीपी की तरफ से। उन्होंने सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म एक्स पर पोस्ट करके हमदर्दी व्यक्त की है।
As the Prime Minister turns 75, a large number of world leaders, they called him to congratulate him. They put out messages on social media platforms. US President Donald Trump, for example, he was amongst the first to wish Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Australia, New Zealand, the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Several world leaders didn't just send their greetings, they also praised the Prime Minister's leadership and where India stands today.
As Prime Minister Narendra Modi turned 75, the world did not just take notice, it celebrated. From Washington to Wellington, wishes poured in and special prayers were also offered.
He forgave like a priest king. IAS Shah Faisal says PM Modi restored his dignity. IAS officer Shah Faisal recalled his return to government service and credited Prime Minister Narendra Modi for giving him a second chance, as the Prime Minister marked his 75th birthday. A time came in my life when I found myself at the bottom of a ditch, professionally and personally. My qualifications still mattered on paper, but the world had moved on. Friends had vanished, recognition had faded, and the future felt sealed shut, Faisal wrote on X. A time came in my life when I found myself at the bottom of a ditch, professionally and personally. My qualifications still mattered on paper, but the world had moved on. Friends had vanished, recognition had faded, and the future felt sealed shut. In that low moment, I resolved to make one last attempt to return to public service, though I doubted anyone would take a chance on me again. Would I be judged for being a Kashmiri, being a Muslim? The opening came sooner than I imagined. A true visionary recognized the worth in my modest beginnings and the struggles that had shaped me. He seemed to read the intent behind my journey. He forgave, the way a priest king might, measuring not pedigree but purpose. It was a quiet gesture that restored my dignity. Someday I will tell the entire story, but for today this much should suffice. Many happy returns of the day to the man who transformed a billion lives, Honorable Prime Minister of India. Like, Supreme Court delivered its interim order on Waqf amendment. Both sides claimed victory. SC order on Waqf bill.
The Supreme Court today granted a partial stay on certain provisions of the Waqf Amendment Act 2025. While the court refused to hold the entire law, it stepped in to protect rights during the hearings. Here's a breakdown of what changes on the ground. The bench led by Chief Justice B.I. Gavai observed that an act passed by Parliament enjoys a presumption of constitutionality and can be stayed only in the rarest of rare cases. But to balance interests, the court has paused key provisions. The law required a person to be a practicing Muslim for at least 5 years before donating property as a waqf. The court did not find this arbitrary but stayed its enforcement until the centre frames clear rules on how such practice will be determined. Provisions giving district collectors authority to decide disputes over waqf property have been stayed. The court said only tribunals and courts can decide ownership, not the administration. Until then, waqf properties cannot be dispossessed, records cannot be altered, and no third-party rights can be created. The government had abolished the age-old concept of waqf by law in public use. The court refused to interfere, noting that waqf registration has been required since 1923. It ruled that unregistered waqfs for over a century cannot claim protection now. The court limited participation. The Central Waqf Council can have no more than 4 non-Muslims out of 22 members, and Waqf boards can have not more than 3 non-Muslims out of 11. The law permits any official but the court directed that as far as possible, the CEO should be appointed from the Muslim community. Meanwhile, provisions excluding ASI monuments and tribal lands from Waqf remain untouched by the court. So what does this mean? The Waqf Amendment Act 2025 remains in force, but with important safeguards ordered by the Supreme Court. The final word on the controversial law will come only after the petitions are fully heard.
Like, SC dismissed a petition challenging Dussehra celebrations in Mysore at the hands of Booker Prize winner Banu Mushtaq. If Ms. Mushtaq doesn't mind performing rites in a temple, why should anybody have a problem? State government and religious festivals. Ayyappan festival in Kerala, Dussehra in Karnataka, and so on. Should state funds be used to celebrate religious festivals? Go see preamble. Supreme Court junks plea in Banu Mushtaq Dussehra row. The Supreme Court has rejected a petition challenging the Karnataka government's decision to invite Booker Prize winner Banu Mushtaq as the chief guest to Dussehra festivities at the famous Chamundeshwari Hills. A bench of Justice Vikram Nath and Justice Sandeep Mehta slammed the petitioner while questioning the grounds to challenge the High Court order rejecting the plea. Justice Nath asked the petitioner to go and read the preamble to the Indian Constitution and asked how he might expect the state to differentiate between its subjects on basis of religion. Reminding the petitioner that the Dussehra celebrations are, in fact, an event organized by the state government, the top court cited past precedents, including one in which Kannada poet K.S. Nisar Ahmed was invited as chief guest to the event. Justice Nath asked, were your fundamental rights not affected back then?
Mysore Dussehra event. The invite by the state government to Booker Prize winner Banu Mushtaq is escalating. Defending that invite, the state government, the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar said that Goddess Chamundeshwari temple and the deity do not exclusively belong to Hindus and Dussehra is a national festival. It's of national importance, so why not invite everybody? In fact, joining us on this broadcast is a member of the royal family, the Maharaja of Mysore, and a BJP member of parliament, Yaduvir Vadyar.
With regards to inviting Miss Banu Mushtaq, I have made it abundantly clear we have lauded her contribution to Kannada literature, but at the same time, in 2023, she has expressed on a Kannada literary stage that she feels out of place or not welcome, because there is a photo of Bhuneshwari Tai, which is of course the state deity or the goddess to which Kannada language and in general the Kannada identity aligns itself to, and also the fact that the Kannada flag has both red and kesari and yellow on it, arshna, or the turmeric color. So both of these sentiments do not necessarily go in line with the dharmic tradition, and given the fact that the Dasra tradition in Mysore is obviously from a background that is purely dharmic, we have expressed concern that if that is going to be the sentiment that she comes to participate and inaugurate the festival with, it is certainly not the right way.
Karnataka government ignores roads. Focus on votes.
A tale of two states. Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka.
There is a complete record of what Chief Minister Andhra Pradesh has done in Hyderabad. In fact, it was not Hyderabad and Secunderabad, there was a third city which was the Cyberabad. Most of us used to call it like that. That was built, outer ring road, many things. But today in Andhra Pradesh, because it's necessary for us to understand as to why we are meeting here and what is the importance of meeting here. Today in Andhra Pradesh, I can count at least 3 frontier area foundations being laid. CM had announced already that quantum headquarter will be a quantum mission, which was part of my budget, 2 budgets earlier. The headquarters for quantum in India will be in Andhra Pradesh. It's the dream of the Chief Minister, and he's announced it. And he's also demarcated an area where he's going to create the necessary fundamental infrastructure for ensuring quantum emanates or fountainhead of quantum would be here. Stop at that? No. He started also one another area where he's demarcated and getting the advantage of a national mission which has been here for a long time, Sriharikota. He's now started a center for space. Future research in space related matters will happen there. So that will be a fountainhead of space which we opened up in the 21 budget. Quantum fountainhead, Andhra. Space, Sriharikota, and around it the ecosystem has been announced by the Honorable Chief Minister. The second, the GCC, he's focused it on Visakhapatnam. He's already made the announcement that Google is coming in with a data center here also in Visakhapatnam. Now 4 things all related to the future of science, frontier of science will emanate from here, and that's already the steps being taken are being openly announced.
Welcome back. Digital trucking company BlackBuck is all set to leave Bengaluru's Bellandur office due to potholes. Yes, you heard that right. The IT company's co-founder Rajesh Yavaji shared the news on his X handle, saying it's very hard to continue. Yavaji shared that his company is on its way out of Bellandur office off Outer Ring Road after 9 years of operations. He said, and I'm going to quote him here, ORR has been our office plus home for the last 9 years, but it's now very, very hard to continue here. We have decided to move out, unquote. The co-founder gave background for the decision as the average commute for his colleagues shot up to over an hour and a half just one way. Bengaluru's infrastructure, including pothole issues, remains a persistent challenge to the city. Bellandur was one of Bengaluru's first localities to see rapid growth in offices and residential spaces. However, now it's a total nightmare, especially for global IT giants who have big offices there, and we're just seeing one of them mention that they're going to be moving out soon due to the crumbling infrastructure.
The CEO of BlackBuck is talking about moving away from Bellandur because he feels that the issues are not just getting resolved.
That is true. I mean, it is a disgrace for the city of Bangalore. I had met the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar 45 days, 60 days ago, given him a list of things, and one of the things was to make sure that the ORR is rejuvenated. You appoint to have R.K. Mishra, who is working with them as an advisor, and he can deal with it, go meet them, talk to them, meet the CEOs. That's the most important road in Bangalore, 7 to 8 lakhs people. and I think it's important for him to understand to keep them together. It's a source of high revenues and high job for Bangalore, and they have not done it. They just come and talk, make statements, and we don't see much action on the ground.
जबान संभाल के, जबान संभाल के, जबान संभाल के, जबान संभाल के, जो चाहे कहो पर जरा देखभाल के, जबान संभाल के, जबान संभाल के.
Go ask deity. Chief Justice Gavai's remark on plea to restore Vishnu idol stirs row. CJI Gavai dismissed plea to restore damaged Lord Vishnu idol at Khajuraho temple complex. Remarks perceived as insensitive sparked social media backlash and calls for impeachment. Advocates sent letters demanding withdrawal of remarks and preservation of religious dignity.
Supreme Court, which was hearing a plea which sought the restoration of a 7-foot-long idol of Lord Vishnu. This is at the Javari temple in Khajuraho. Now, the petitioner claimed that the idol was mutilated during Mughal invasion. That was the claim of the petitioner, and the petitioner said that that has remained incomplete since, saying that it violated devotees' right to worship and the sanctity of the temple. A bench led by the Chief Justice, that's B.R. Gavai, refused to entertain that plea. The Chief Justice basically observed, and I'm quoting him verbatim, "Go and ask the deity to do something. Now you say you're a staunch devotee of Lord Vishnu. Go and pray now." Now, the court has also said that the site is under Archaeological Survey of India, and any restoration or replacement of the idol would require ASI permission. The bench indicated that such a matter falls under heritage conservation rules and not directly under court orders. The CGI's remarks have triggered an outrage among devotees and also Hindu organizations who have called the remarks dismissive of religious sentiments. They also argue that the issue is not just about heritage but also about the constitutional right to worship, which comes under Article 25.
जाओ और देवता से ही कुछ करने के लिए कहो। तुम कहते हो कि तुम भगवान विष्णु के कट्टर भक्त हो, तो अब जाओ और प्रार्थना करो, वही आपकी सहायता कर सकते हैं। हमें क्षमा कीजिए, ये एक पुरातत्विक स्थल है, एएसआई को अनुमति देनी होगी, हम दखल नहीं देंगे।
Chief Justice of India, Justice Gavai, has clarified his remarks on Khajuraho, stressing that he respects all religions. His clarification comes after the CJI guys go ask deity comments on the Vishnu idol matter.
Personality rights. The protection of personality rights is an emerging issue in India because the commercial exploitation of personality has increased much more compared to the earlier period. The major problem in India is the lack of proper protection for personality rights, even though the judiciary had tried to cover the issues under the existing IP laws such as trademark, passing off, and copyright. It is high time to look further at whether the existing laws are adequate to cover the personality rights related issues in the present context.
Filmmaker Karan Johar has moved Delhi High Court seeking protection of personality rights, restraining people from illegally selling merchandise in his name. And this comes after High Court granted a similar protection to actors Abhishek Bachchan and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. It restrained several websites and online platforms from illegally using Abhishek's name or images for commercial gain without his consent. The High Court said it was clear that the attributes of Bachchan's persona, including his name, images and signature, are being misused by the defendant websites and platforms without authorization from him by employing technological tools such as artificial intelligence. The High Court also said that Bachchan has established a good prima facie case for the grant of an ex parte injunction, and the balance of convenience also tilts in his favor. The right to publicity, popularly known as personality rights, is the right to protect, control, and profit from one's image, name, or likeness.
Bihar elections.
बांके बिहारी, ये क्या हो रहा है?
Vote Chori allegations.
There was theft of votes. This clarification has come repeatedly from the Election Commission as well, but still allegations are made. Look, the first thing is that neither votes were stolen in Maharashtra, nor were there any thefts in the country. I feel that the chip in Rahulji's brain has been stolen, and his hard disk has become corrupt. That is why he is constantly lying. He is making false statements and stealing the mandate of the people. He is stealing democracy. He is stealing the decision given by democracy. And his figures also change repeatedly. Last time he said that 75 lakh votes increased in Maharashtra. Now he said 1 crore votes increased. We replied to him with full facts and figures about the votes of Maharashtra. He could not answer that. That is why he is trying to suppress his defeat by lying. He is doing cover firing. He knows that he is going to lose in the future too. Then you will say that I had already said that this type of cover firing is going on by them, and I'm most surprised by the fact that you keep saying that there is a discrepancy in the voter list. There is a discrepancy in the voter list. Then why are you opposing the comprehensive revision in Bihar? If there is a discrepancy in the voter list, how will the voter list improve? We have been demanding comprehensive revision for the last 10 years. Prepare a complete voter list. We have been demanding. And now when the Election Commission is doing that, you are opposing it. The truth is that they know that their party has lost its existence, and instead of regaining its existence, the work of defaming the democratic institutions of India is being done through them. I condemn this, and the public should teach them a lesson in the next election.
After vote Chori, it's MLA Chori.
तेलंगाना में एमएलए चोरी पर राहुल गांधी पर केटीआर का बड़ा हमला। तेलंगाना सियासत में नई हलचल जब बीआरएस के वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट केटी रामाराव ने कांग्रेस नेता राहुल गांधी पर बड़ा आरोप लगाया है। केटीआर ने कहा कि राहुल गांधी हमेशा वोट चोरी की बात करते हैं, लेकिन जब तेलंगाना में कांग्रेस द्वारा खुलेआम एमएलए चोरी हो रही है, तब वो चुप क्यों हैं? केटीआर ने पूछा कि बीआरएस के टिकट पर जीतने वाले विधायक कांग्रेस के साथ कैसे दिख रहे हैं और उनकी तस्वीरें राहुल गांधी के साथ क्यों साझा की जा रही हैं? क्या ये कांग्रेस की दोहरी नीति नहीं है? जनता अब जवाब चाहती है। क्या ये एमएलए चोरी वोट चोरी से भी बड़ा अपराध नहीं है?
देखिए, ये मैं शेर जो आपको सुना रहा हूं ह्यूस्टन में, ये शेर मैं लाल किले में भी पढ़ता हूं और वजीर आजम बैठे हुए होते हैं और उनके सामने में ये शेर पढ़ता हूं। मैं इसीलिए शायद मैं हिंदुस्तान में बहुत मशहूर हूं या बहुत बदनाम हूं। इमरजेंसी के जमाने में मैंने एक मर्तबा यह कह दिया था कि सरकार चोर है, तो दूसरे दिन पुलिस स्टेशन पर मुझे बुला लिया गया। अफसर ने मुझसे पूछा कि आपने रात मुशायरे में यह कहा है कि सरकार चोर है। मैंने कहा जी हाँ, ये तो कहा है कि सरकार चोर है, लेकिन ये नहीं कहा कि हिंदुस्तान की सरकार चोर है, कि पाकिस्तान की सरकार चोर है, या अमेरिका की सरकार चोर है, या बरतानिया की सरकार चोर है। तो वो अफसर ने मुझे देख के अफसर मुस्कुराया और कहा कि अच्छा, आप हमें बेवकूफ भी समझते हैं? क्या हमें मालूम नहीं कि सरकार कहां की चोर है?
A thought. Can the wealth of all the political parties in India together wipe out India's poverty?
सूरत से जंग जीतने निकले थे बेवकूफ। सूरत से जंग जीतने निकले थे बेवकूफ।
सारे सिपाही मोम के घुल के आ गए, घुल के।
NDA partners rally behind Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. The state chiefs of NDA partners on Sunday unanimously endorsed CM Nitish Kumar as their central campaign face for the forthcoming assembly elections, stressing that the women's empowerment schemes introduced by him over the last 2 decades would secure the alliance a resounding victory. Trouble in Mahagathbandhan? Tejshvi Yadav says his party will contest all 243 seats. Tejshvi Yadav urges voters to vote in his name. Tejshvi Yadav has urged voters in Bihar to support him in the upcoming assembly elections across all 243 constituencies.
क्यों ना चले रे सरकार की दुनिया, ऐसे ही चले दरकार की दुनिया, सन सनन सनसार ये दुनिया।
BJP wins Amul Dairy elections for the first time with clear majority. Congress alleges underhanded tactics.
Former Congress MLA Rajendra Singh Parmar accused the BJP of using its full party machinery and underhanded tactics to try to defeat him. Meanwhile, independent candidate Keesarizan Solanki, who campaigned against BJP officials, secured only 18 votes. 3 former Congress members who joined the BJP after the 2022 elections retained their seats, including Gautam Chauhan, who was elected uncontested. Why is the underhand tactics deployed, if any not brought out in the open?
Is Congress the losers' club now?
Like, in Tamil Nadu, actor Vijay gave, yet another, clarion call in Chennai. Interesting?
நான் இப்பவும் சொல்றேன், நம்மளை நம்பி வர்றவங்களுக்கு ஆட்சியிலும் அதிகாரத்திலும் உறுதியாக பங்களிப்பு செய்யப்படும். உடனே இந்த கேள்விகள்லாம் வரும். அப்ப யாரு கூட்டணி, யாரு வரா, யாரு போறா, இந்த கேள்விகள்லாம் வரும். இந்த கேள்விகளுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரே ஒரு பதில் தான், சஸ்பென்ஸ்ல சஞ்சாரம் செய்யுங்க. ஆனா ஒண்ணு, 2026ல 2 பேருக்கு நடுவுல தான் போட்டியே. ஒன்னு டிவிகே, இன்னொன்னு டிஎம்கே. இந்த போட்டி எப்படி இருக்க போகுதுன்னா, இந்த அலையன்ஸ் வச்சு எப்படியாவது நம்ம தப்பிச்சிடலாம். இந்த அறத பழைய இந்த மேத்தமேட்டிக்ஸ், அரித்மெட்டிக்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் வச்சு எப்படியாவது நம்ம தப்பிச்சிடலாம் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறவங்களோட அந்த கனவு ஒரு நாளும் மைப்படாது.
Embarked on a statewide tour aiming to expand the outreach of his party, the TVK, and connect with the supporters across multiple districts. Superstar Rajnikant has heaped praises on the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Addressing M.K. Stalin as his friend and the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Rajni went on to describe Stalin as the star of Indian politics who challenged old and new opposition parties to enter the 2026 elections with a smile. Undoubtedly, Rajni's praise for Chief Minister Stalin on the very same day that Vijay began his political tour has raised eyebrows.
My brain worth rupees 200 crore, I earn honestly, said Nitin Gadkari amid E20 petrol row. Amid the controversy over the government's push for ethanol-blended petrol, with critics alleging personal gain for him, Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari dismissed the charges, saying that his brain is worth 200 crore a month and he earns honestly without resorting to fraud.
Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, while responding to the controversy over ethanol-blended fuel, said that his decisions are not motivated by money but are taken keeping in mind the interests of farmers and the country. He sarcastically said that the value of his thoughts and ideas is 200 crore rupees per month and clarified that he does not work for any bargain or personal gain. This statement of Gadkari is an attempt to send a message to the opponents that his policies are based on big business and public interest rather than personal gain.
Punjab floods. Bigvanth man on centre's flood aid. What will we do with 1,600 crore? The initial assessment of damage from floods that have ravaged Punjab over the past weeks is around 13,800 crore and the final figure will likely be higher, Chief Minister Bigvanth Man said. Chief Minister questioned the federal government granting only 1,600 crore aid. Every state appears to be facing natural calamities. Should the states reserve more funds for these unforeseen incidents from their exchequer, and not enter into the center-state blame game right from day one?
अफगानिस्तान च आफत आई 1 मिनट च पैसे पहुंच जाते हैं जेड़े कि सानू लुटन आते रहे पहला अफगानी पंजाब च आफत आई इन्ने दिनों बाद आए 1600 करोड़ रुपया अनाउंस कर गए अज भी मैं चीफ सेक्रेटरी ने पूछे अजे तक 1 रुपया नहीं आया जी मतलब की दुश्मनी केड़ी कढ़ रहे हैं पंजाब नाल फिर की हो गया नहीं पंजाब को जिताउंदा फिर की होगा बहुत कुछ है तुहाडे कोल जिहड़ी कोई स्टेट नहीं तुहाडे विचारां मुताबिक चलदी तुसीं फिर ऐ दुश्मनियां कड्डोगे साडे नाल हुण तक भाजपा वाले उल्टे सीधे सवाल जो पुछी जांदे रहे आह करो या दसो जी हुण जाखड़ साहब हुण पुछो साहब जी जाखड़ साहब जी शायद करनगे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस तो बाद साहब जी हुण तां पुछ लो बिट्टू जी तुसीं पुछ लो प्रधानमंत्री नूं पुछो कि मत्था टेकण दी संगत क्यों रोकी है भी कल अजे मैच लाइव होके हटिया कि असीं आपदे गुरु के मत्था नहीं टेक सकते ये साडे लिए कोई राजनीतिक जब कारोबार नहीं है कि साडी आस्था है
Like in commerce, Adani stocks shot up by 13% on SEBI clean shit. Expected?
The Securities and Exchange Board has given the Adani Group a clean chit in the Hindenburg case. As you would remember, in 2023, US short seller Hindenburg Research had accused Gautam Adani and his companies of stock manipulation, siphoning funds and hiding related party transactions. But SEBI's investigation says none of that holds up. It found the deals flagged were not related party under the rules back then, and the new 2021 rules cannot be applied backwards. The regulator also said there was no proof of fund diversion or unfair trading, and the loans under question were fully repaid with interest even before the probe ended. With this, the Securities and Exchange Board has dropped all show cause notices against Gautam Adani, his brother Rajesh Adani, and group companies like Adani Ports, Adani Power, and Adani Enterprises. Adani has welcomed the move, calling the Hindenburg claims baseless.
Like, Srinivas Phatak is taking over as global CFO of Unilever. A matter of pride. Like, there were reports of a stampede in BKC for buying iPhone 17 Pro, priced at Rs 1,30,000. Crazy. iPhone 17 frenzy hits India. Buyers queue overnight, scuffles break out at Apple stores. iPhone 17 is finally on sale in India. All Apple stores in the country opened their doors at 8 a.m. to buyers. However, the hype was so real that interested buyers queued up hours before the sales even began. Apple has 4 of its prestigious Apple stores in India, 1 each in New Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and Pune.
iPhone 17 लिया क्या?
iPhone 17 craze leads to overnight queues. The lines were large at all locations. Buyers waited patiently overnight outside Apple's New Delhi store in Saket Select CityWalk Mall just to be the first ones to buy the latest iPhone. The iPhone 17 starts at Rs 82,900 in India, with the ultra-slim iPhone Air priced at Rs 119,900. Additionally, the iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max cost Rs 134,900 and Rs 149,900, respectively. Despite the eye-watering prices, people seem to be thrilled about the latest iPhones. From the first day of sales, it seems that the iPhone 17 series will likely be another success for Apple. India's Oscar nomination 2026. The Hindi film Homebound has been named as India's official entry to the 2026 Academy Awards. Homebound stars Ishan Khatter, Vishal Jetwa and Janhavi Kapoor named India's official entry in Best International Feature category.
बड़ा आदमी बनना था मेरे को बहुत
बस उसे लड़ने के लिए छोड़ दें ताकि उसका हाल भी उसके भाई की तरह हो।
हिस्ट्री वो जादूगर है जिसके जादू से इतिहास ऐसे ही खो गया जैसे कि हम तो खोए हुए लोग थे जब किसी ने हमें बाहर से आकर ढूंढा।
तो अनाउंसमेंट हो चुकी है बॉलीवुड से अपकमिंग मूवी होमबाउंड मूवी के मेन रोल में हमें देखने को मिलेंगे ईशान खट्टर, विशाल जेठवा, जानवी कपूर। ये एक ड्रामा मूवी होने वाली है 2 फ्रेंड की फ्रेंडशिप स्टोरी पे। मूवी हमें 21 मई को देखने को मिलेगी।
Like, Huma Qureshi, top Bollywood actress, got engaged to her longtime friend Rachit Singh.
बॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस हुमा कुरैशी को क्या उनका प्यार मिल चुका है? जी हाँ, वो इस वक्त तो सुर्खियों में है। वजह सिर्फ उनकी फिल्में ही नहीं बल्कि उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ भी है। हाल ही में टोरंटो इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल 2025 में उनकी नई फिल्म बयान का ग्रैंड प्रीमियर हुआ। इस मौके पर जहां उनकी फिल्म की खूब चर्चा हुई, वहीं एक और बड़ी खबर भी सामने आई। जिसने सबको हैरान कर दिया। कई रिपोर्ट्स का दावा है कि हुमा कुरैशी ने अपने कथित बॉयफ्रेंड और जाने माने एक्टिंग कोच रचित सिंह से सगाई कर दी है। ये खबर अचानक इसलिए और चर्चाओं में आ गई क्योंकि लंबे वक्त से दोनों के रिश्ते को लेकर बातें हो रही थी। हुमा और रचित की दोस्ती के चर्चे तब तेज हुए जब उनकी कॉमन फ्रेंड और सिंगर अकाशा सिंह ने दोनों की एक कैंडिड फोटो शेयर की थी। इस तस्वीर के साथ अकाना ने एक प्यारा सा कैप्शन लिखा, हुमा स्वर्ग के इस छोटे से टुकड़े को बेहतरीन नाम देने के लिए बधाई।
Asia Cup. India-Pakistan clash.
The India versus Pakistan Asia Cup clash, once the glamour fixture of world cricket. This time, it ended in total embarrassment for Pakistan. India didn't just outplay them by 7 wickets. Off the field, the game turned into a nightmare for our neighbours. A no handshake drama, the national anthem confused with a popular music track, empty stands, all of it begging the question, should India even be playing Pakistan anymore? From the moment the match began, it was a parade of humiliation for Pakistan. First came the national anthem blunder. Yep, instead of the national anthem, the speakers blared a music track. A technical glitch maybe, but the symbolism is quite hard to ignore. On the field, it was business as usual. India dominated every facet, dismissing Pakistan without breaking a sweat. Another one-sided affair. But what was different this time? The buzz. The same fixture that would once sell out within minutes failed to even fill a 25,000-seater in Dubai. Saw the pictures there. Tickets that should have been gone in a flash were still unsold. Why? Because fans themselves had moved on. Hashtag boycott was actually trending stronger than hashtag India versus Pakistan. After the Pahalgam terror attack, the message was clear. Fans weren't just watching cricket, they were making a statement. And the Indian team followed suit. After the match, the players refused to shake hands with the Pakistani players. That's right, the Pakistani players stood waiting and India just walked away. And this was no accident. Surya Kumar Yadav, the captain, made it very clear why they did it.
We stand by the victims of the families of the Pahalgam terror attack. We want to dedicate this win to all our armed forces. Hope they continue to inspire us all and we give them more reasons on the ground whenever we get an opportunity.
This match was important because as a team we wanted to show our solidarity towards the victims of the Pahalgam attack.
Zubeen Garg passes away. Singer loses his life at 52 in tragic scuba diving accident in Singapore.
Zubeen Garg, the soul-stirring voice of Assam and a celebrated icon in Indian music, is no more. At just 52 years old, Zubeen met with a tragic end in Singapore on September 19, 2025 during a freak scuba diving accident. He was there as the cultural brand ambassador for the 4th Northeast India Festival. Despite being rescued from the sea and rushed to a hospital, he couldn't be saved. Born in 1973 in Jorhat, Assam, Zubeen Garg was much more than a singer. He was a composer, music director, actor, filmmaker, and a cultural warrior who carried the soul of Assam in his voice. He shot to national fame with the Hindi song Ya Ali from the movie Gangster, a song that still resonates across generations. But long before Bollywood embraced him, he had already become a household name in the Northeast. He sang in over 40,000 songs across multiple languages and also acted in and directed several films, among which Kanchanjunga, Mission China, Deenabandhu and Monjai were super hits. Just days before his death, Zubin shared an invitation on Instagram. Come and explore the exotic part of India. I'll perform with my Hindi, Bengali and Assamese songs. Entry is free. All come and support us. Cheers. The post now reads like a haunting farewell.
And Robert Redford, Hollywood's rugged Prince Charming, died at 89.
Over a career that spanned 6 decades, Robert Redford was one of Hollywood's leading men and most celebrated directors in American cinema. He was the quintessential handsome movie star who starred in classics like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, released in 1969. The California native's good looks and charismatic performances propelling him to fame. He also took his talents behind the scenes, winning an Oscar for Best Director in 1983 for the film Ordinary People.
Who says it happens only in India? Paris fried chicken giveaway. What began as a fun back-to-school fried chicken giveaway in Paris turned into serious chaos, leaving dozens injured. Social media influencer Fares Salvatore had promised 1,000 free portions, but an overwhelming crowd of over 3,000 showed up. The surge sparked panic and a stampede, with people falling and children trapped in the crush. Riot police were forced to fire tear gas as bottles and projectiles were hurled at officers. The event was cancelled within 45 minutes, with at least 15 people injured and 5 arrests reported. Authorities cordoned off streets, redirected traffic, and promised tighter controls for future gatherings. The incident recalls a similar 2019 Marseille food giveaway that ended in tragedy. Like, believe it or not, Mrs. Brigitte Macron is ready to prove that she is not a male.
Brigitte Macron is planning to present proof she's a woman after losing a shock lawsuit in France over bizarre gender rumors. The First Lady and her husband, President Emmanuel Macron, are now preparing to submit scientific and photographic evidence in a U.S. defamation case against American right-wing influencer Candace Owens. Owens, who has millions of followers, has repeatedly claimed that Mrs. Macron, aged 70, was born a male. In March, she vowed to wager her entire professional reputation on it, even alleging that Brigitte is in fact her brother, Jean-Michel Trogneux, and that her first husband never existed. The Macron's lawyer, Tom Clare, said that the couple are ready to fight back.
Like, there was a massive anti-immigration rally in London. Even cops were punched.
India is often celebrated as the world's largest democracy, the birthplace of yoga, and a global hub of technology and talent. With a population of over 1.4 billion and a diaspora spread across nearly every continent, Indians have made remarkable contributions to science, politics, business, and culture. From Sundar Pichai leading Google to Satya Nadella heading Microsoft, Indian success stories are everywhere. Yet despite these achievements, there is a growing narrative that Indians are facing resentment and hostility abroad.
Canada.
Too many Indians are in Canada, and I want you to go back.
In some places, it manifests as subtle discrimination. In others, it has led to outright protests, violence, or diplomatic tensions.
Australia.
A brown man steps up at a charged anti-immigration rally in Australia. He is introduced as a foreigner who would like to say something. Wearing a yellow tee that says Australia, he begins confidently. Yes, I am a brown man. Yes, I am an immigrant from India. But I came here for the right reasons. He talks about immigrants giving back, not just taking, respecting, not demanding. The crowd reacts. Some cheer, others boo. And then chaos. Someone grabs the mic, he is pushed off stage. Just like that, the moment ends. But the internet didn't let it go. The clip went viral, and with it, a debate exploded. Who gets to belong? And why are Indian migrants suddenly the target?
Britain.
Thousands of protesters hit the streets of London, England on Saturday to protest immigration. The Unite the Kingdom March, organized by far-right British activist Tommy Robinson, saw a sea of British and English flags, along with signs that read, quote, "Stop the boats and send them home."
It is very important. They need to stop illegal migration into this country. It's tearing us apart.
Nearly 1.5 lakh people took to the streets of London on September 13th for the Unite the Kingdom rally. But then, in the middle of the rally, came an ironic twist. Videos showed protesters stopping to buy Indian food, naan wraps and onion bhaji. The footage was shared widely online, sparking debate about the credibility of their cause. One clip in particular showed a stall with a sign Indian street food, serving the very snacks that are now part of British food culture. Social media users mocked the scene. One wrote, "We want our country back, but let me grab that onion bhaji." Another joked, "Reclaiming England, one onion bhaji at a time." A third said, "Bro, you'll starve if immigrants leave the UK." Indian cuisine has long been woven into daily life in Britain.
British leader Tommy Robinson calls Hindus allies. British leader Tommy Robinson calls Hindus allies. Despite his hardline anti-immigrant stance, UK leader Tommy Robinson has repeatedly praised Indians, particularly Hindus, calling them allies who integrate into British life. Robinson, who recently led a massive rally through the heart of London, had pledged street muscle for Hindus, who he saw as distinctly different from other immigrants. Though Robinson led the anti-immigrant Unite the Kingdom march, his views on Indians, particularly Hindus, are surprisingly warm to the extent that far-right critics have used that as a handle to hit out against him. The anti-immigrant activist has described Indians as a peaceful, peace-loving migrant community who integrate into British life. This is in sharp contrast to his general depiction of migrants as a threat to British identity. It is reported that Prince Andrew could face criminal charges if secret emails surface. Epstein ghosted work.
A New York judge says he will make a decision, quote, very soon after Prince Andrew's attorneys argued to dismiss a sex trafficking lawsuit filed against him. Virginia Roberts Giuffre is accusing the prince of sexually abusing her when she was 17 years old. Giuffre claims she was sexually trafficked to Prince Andrew by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after meeting his former associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Prince Andrew has repeatedly denied the allegations. On Monday, the judge released a 2009 settlement agreement between Giuffre and Epstein that shows he paid her $500,000 to drop the case.
New threat for India? U.S. joins UN Security Council condemnation of Israeli strikes on Qatar. Starmer condemns Israel's airstrike on Qatar, as Number 10 denies prior knowledge of attack. Qatar hosts Arab Islamic Emergency Summit.
Today, we must take decisive measures to put an end to Israel's arrogance and its continued perpetration of crimes against humanity under the cover of double standards by the international community. At the outset, I am pleased to welcome you to your second home, Qatar, and to express my sincere thanks and appreciation for your participation in this summit. This emergency Arab Islamic summit is being held in response to the treacherous Israeli aggression that targeted our lands in broad daylight last Tuesday, which corresponds to the 9th of this September. This act reflects arrogance and recklessness in violating the sovereignty of a member state of the United Nations, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Arab League, and a mediator in the peace process. This constitutes a dangerous escalation that threatens peace, security, and regional stability and undermines all and any efforts to de-escalate in the Middle East region. Israel's persistence in violating international law, human values, and diplomatic norms was manifested in the brutal attack that took place in broad daylight in the city of Doha, in a residential area, an area that includes homes, schools, kindergartens, and diplomatic missions, and which led to the martyrdom of a security officer and caused civilian casualties. This attack can only be described as state terrorism, a method adopted by the current extremist Israeli government. It blatantly disregards international law. It targets the security of the entire region in a flagrant challenge to international legitimacy.
Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have signed a mutual defense pact just days after Israel's strike on Qatar. The deal was signed by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif in Riyadh on Wednesday. The agreement says an attack on one country will be considered an aggression against both, and it also aims to enhance their security and develop defense cooperation. The deal comes 2 days after a joint session between the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation was called following Israel's attack on Hamas leaders in Doha last week.
Like, two terror groups in Pakistan have confirmed that terrorist Masood Azhar's family was wiped out in Operation Sindoor. Now it's Masood's turn.
Bombshell confession of terrorists. Pakistan's terror facade lies shattered and exposed. A Jaish-e-Mohammed commander has admitted openly that Masood Azhar's entire family was annihilated by Indian forces in Operation Sindoor.
Also exposes the rotting nexus of generals and jihadis in Pakistan. It is an admission that would shame any democracy. But of course, this is Pakistan. Jaish commander Masood Ilyas Kashmiri concedes what Islamabad has long denied, that India's Operation Sindoor ripped apart Bahawalpur, tearing into the family of Masood Azhar, the terror mastermind whose shadow looms over decades of bloodshed. Ilyas Kashmiri says that the family was torn into pieces, a line delivered with grim finality. A line Pakistan's rulers would rather silence, but cannot, because it has come from their own backyard, from a commander of their own nurtured monster.
Like, it is now confirmed that Russia did not use Putin's double in Alaska as claimed by some channels. It is just that Putin has put on weight.
A new rumor surrounding Russian President Vladimir Putin's meeting with US President Donald Trump has taken the world by surprise. The rumor mills are abuzz with news of Putin using a body double to attend the summit in Alaska. The speculation and conspiracy theories swirled online as many people had a doubt about Putin's appearance at the summit. Putin never walks with both his hands swinging, unlike in this video. His left hand is always still. Another wild conspiracy theory swirling around is about Putin's cheekbones. Netizens claims that the person who landed in Alaska had fuller cheekbones and appeared more jovial than the actual Russian leader. Netizens pointed out that Vladimir Putin, who usually expresses little emotion through his facial expressions, makes weird looks when asked about Russia-Ukraine ceasefire.
Thank you very much. Let's go. Come on, guys. Thank you, press.
Mr. President.
Thank you, press.
President Putin, why should President Trump trust your word now?
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
Putin's leg twitching fuels health rumors. Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump shows the Russian president's leg twitching, sparking intense speculation about Putin's health, from Parkinson's rumors to claims of an exoskeleton. Former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, John Brennan, claims that Putin might have planted a microchip in Trump's limousine. He hopes Secret Service swept Trump's limo after President Putin rode it.
Pariah, a war criminal who was basically embraced by the President of the United States on a red carpet in the United States. So I think you could see on Putin's face, he felt very, very comfortable. And the fact that he was given a ride then in the presidential limousine, the Beast, I certainly hope the Secret Service has swept that vehicle very well in terms of any type of, small microchip that might have been put in the vehicle.
Like, Trump has increased H-1B annual visa fee to Rs 88 lakhs. 70% of H-1B visa holders are Indians. End of American dream? President Donald Trump on Friday signed an executive order hiking the H-1B visa fees. Tariff on talent. Trump's $100,000 H-1B plan. H-1B visa fee hike. Trump's executive order. President Trump, in the executive order, outlined the conditions and exceptions that would apply to H-1B visa applicants. The order goes into effect from September 21, 2025. It applies only to aliens who enter or attempt to enter the United States after the effective date of this proclamation. After a year from this date, the restriction shall disappear if an extension is not made. The Secretary of Homeland Security can waive this for an individual alien, all aliens working for a company, or all aliens working in an industry, if employing them as H-1B specialty occupation workers is in national interest, and if it does not pose a threat to the security or welfare of the nation. Employers have to keep proof of payment, the Secretary of State has to verify receipt of payment, and the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of State are tasked with denying entry to those whose employers have not made this payment.
We need workers, we need great workers, and this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land, train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs. That's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it.
For the H-1B visa action that you're doing
It's going to
today,
be next. We'll talk about that.
you're very close to the technology CEOs. Are they concerned about that?
Everyone's going to be happy, and we're going to be able to keep people in our country that are going to be very productive people. And in many cases, these companies are going to pay a lot of money for that, and they're very happy about it.
Like, U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick said to India. Buy our corn, else. What a pity.
India brags that they have 1.4 billion people. Why won't their 1.4 billion people buy one bushel of U.S. corn? Doesn't that rub you the wrong way?
Yet another reason for a fresh thorn as far as the India-US talks are concerned. This time it is over corn, as US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has said that Washington claims that India is taking advantage of the US market, saying India sells everything to the US but will not buy its corn, not even one bushel of corn. That's what he said, asserting that New Delhi just bring down tariffs or face a tough time doing business as far as the US is concerned.
Indian beheaded in USA.
The BBC reports former President Donald Trump promised tough action after what he called terrible reports about the beheading of an Indian motel manager in Dallas. A Cuban national has been charged in the incident, and ICE has asked that the subject be removed from the country. Trump and several outlets linked the case to calls for stricter immigration enforcement. Authorities say the Dallas investigation is ongoing.
Like, Trump's $15 billion defamation suit against New York Times is thrown out as vituperative by a Fed judge with liberty to file it afresh. It's a meritless intimidation, said NYT.
A federal court has rejected President Trump's $15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. The judge said the 85-page filing was too long and didn't follow federal rules, calling it more of an PR stunt than a proper complaint. Trump's team has a month to refile, but the new suit must be shorter and stick to facts. The lengthy lawsuit accused the Times of being a, quote, virtual mouthpiece, end quote, for the Democratic Party.
Like, Trump visited England but asked most evil London Mayor Sadiq Khan to be kept away. England obliged.
I didn't want him there. I asked that he not be there. I don't want them. I think the mayor of London, Khan, is among the worst mayors in the world. And we have some bad ones. If you look at Chicago, if you look at, but I think he's the equivalent of the mayor of Chicago. I think he's done a terrible job. Crime in London is through the roof. The mayor of London, Khan, Mayor Khan, has done a terrible job. And on immigration, he's a disaster. No, I asked that he not be there. He wanted to be there, as I understand. I didn't want him. I've not liked him for a long time. I just think, you know, I have a certain pride in London and UK. My mother was born in Scotland, as you know. And when I see Mayor Khan do a bad job, the stabbings and the dirt and the filth, it's not the same. No, I didn't want him to.
I understand that British soil makes for rather splendid golf courses. Today, however, we celebrate a relationship between our two countries that surely neither Washington nor King George III could possibly have imagined. The ocean may still divide us, but in so many other ways, we are now the closest of kin. Mr. President, you have spoken of your pride in your British roots. In fact, not only have you set foot on British soil twice in the last 2 months alone, but I understand that British soil makes for rather splendid golf courses. Had the media succeeded in the 1970s in their own attempt at deepening the special relationship, I myself might have been married off within the Nixon family. Mr. President, from York to New York, from Birmingham, England to Birmingham, Alabama, we are united by a common language and shared heritage. So, in renewing our bond tonight, we do so with unshakable trust in our friendship and in our shared commitment to independence and liberty. Therefore, as we celebrate this unparalleled partnership, allow me to propose a toast to President Trump and the First Lady, and to the health, prosperity, and happiness of the people of the United States of America.
And finally, I was told this is what happened at an inquiry of an MLA by Enforcement Directorate. What were you doing 2 years ago? Answer: I contested Assembly election. What job were you doing thereafter? Answer: nothing, I got elected. Lazy B. 20th September 2025.